Good morning. Thank you for joining me on Tips Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about the number one thing that we unknowingly do to our kids to disempower them. It's not our fault. We've been taught to parent in a certain way, but today I want to talk to you about dictating. I know that we have this idea in our mind that we want our kids to listen to what we tell them to do just because we're the adult and they're the child. But is that really what we want for our children? Is for them to just listen to adults do whatever they're told to do? And if you really think about that, give yourself some time to think about that. You don't want them to listen to the stranger that's inviting them to get in their car just because they're an adult and they have to listen to them, right? We don't want just 100% compliant children. Now, my name is Bonnie Leota, and if you don't know my story, you can discover it at learntospeakkid.com. But real quick, I was just like you a few years ago, raising kids who were completely out of control, defiant, being labeled with ADHD, oppositional defiant disorder, anxiety, and depression, and all sorts of things. And I did not understand at all what was going on. I was a personal development coach. I was coachable and teachable. I was reading all the books about parenting. I watched Super Nanny very specifically teach me and all the parents probably around the world to speak authoritatively to our children, that they should comply and listen just because we're adults. And if they don't, well, we're going to put them in a timeout or we're going to punish them in some way. And so I really wanted to bring some attention to everybody and just allow you to, think, because I'm not expecting you to listen to me just because I'm sitting here telling you, but I want you to think and engage with the message and feel it on a deeper level, because the spiritual part of you is going to feel the truth. We will know the truth, and the truth will set us free. And so that's my purpose for this video, because when I discovered the answer to help my children go from all of these diagnosis to healthy, happy, confident kids, I just had to make sure that everybody in the world knew about this, because millions and millions of kids around the world are being diagnosed and medicated for behavior disorders, and we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You're seeing a black screen. That's not good. Oh, let me just check. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to check and see this. Shouldn't be seeing a black screen.
I can see it from here.
Yeah, we can see it on our side. Let me see if I can see it on my page. Oh. Carrie, hi and welcome. I don't know, because I'm looking at my computer and I can see myself. So maybe go off and then come back on again so that you can see the picture. All right, so we're talking about the number one thing that we do unknowingly to disempower our kids. And let's just put ourselves into their mind. If we could go back and be childlike. I have a little girl visiting me today. I'm at the park, okay? But if we could take our minds and just go back and be childlike and understand where they are coming from, because we've literally been operating with an idea for 2,000 years that children are born defiant. That they're already born with 2 strikes against them, because we think that they are these sinful little creatures who go out of their way to be defiant, and then we have to come back and we have to punish them in order to teach them a lesson. And there's a law of vibration, you guys. There's a law of vibration and energy, and it just says that positive will attract positive, create positive, and negative will attract and create negative. It is a universal law, a universal truth. The other universal truth, what I like to call God's law, you can call it whatever you like. This is not a religious speech or anything like that. But if we look at the natural laws of the universe and we understand the law of cause cause and effect. And we understand that if every cause was positive, every effect would be positive. On the other side, we need to experience the negative in order to create the positive. We have to have the up with the down, the dark with the light. It's also the law of polarity, okay? But to think that our child's behavior is the cause and how we react to that cause is the effect, it's got to be off the mark. And here's why. Who's the older one between you and your child? And who was the one who decided to be a parent and bring children into this world? And who is the one who creates the environment that your children grow and learn in? Okay? When we can look at that scenario and we can accept personal responsibility for where we are and what we're living, and we can have this huge aha awareness that I'm going to bring to you over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, life can literally positively transform. See, awareness is the key to greatness, and then repetition is the second law of learning. Awareness is the first law of learning. Oh, I know something today that I didn't know yesterday. Now I know, I know that I didn't know, and then you're aware, but now you don't know how to make it happen, right? Repetition is the second law of learning, and this is where we start engaging with our videos and, our Learn to Speak Kid fan page and things like that, so you can really get on page and see if you resonate with our message. We're talking about healing, uniting, and empowering your children and your family here by understanding that we don't just want to say jump and your child to say how high. We want our children to be independent thinkers, don't we? Don't we want them to go to school and be able to know how to protect themselves without us? Don't we want them to know how to be happy and how to experience great things in their life, whether we're there with them or we're not there with them? Right? Don't we want them to experience all that life has to offer so that they can grow and become and do and be and have more in their life than what we even had? It's like, oh, I don't know who she is, but she's awesome fun. Do you see yourself in the video? Can you see yourself in there? No? Okay. Okay, awesome. All right. All right. So she's listening to the message because she can resonate, right? She's like, yeah, I don't like being told what to do all the time. Now, here's the thing, okay? We are taught to dictate. We're taught to be an authoritative parent. Children should just obey, speak when spoken to. I mean, this is kind of some ideas we've been operating with for, say, the last 100 years or so. All right. And so if we go back to being a child or baby, like where we understand that they're not born defiant, let's just operate with that idea. Let's say that they were born perfect, pure potential, love, energy. Let's say that a baby comes into this world and the baby is just wrapped in love. All they know is, ooh, I'm alive, and that's it. They don't know manners. They don't know how to sit in a chair. They don't know how to say yes, ma'am. They don't know how to open the door for older people. They don't know how to eat with a spoon. They don't know how to walk or talk or think or anything. So it's our job to, what? Okay, let me ask you this. Is it our job to be, do, and have everything for our children? Or is it our job to teach them how to be, do, and have everything on their own without us? And I would love for somebody to interact with me because I've got a couple of live viewers here. So that would be really great if you could just answer that one question, right? Is it our job to be, do, and have everything for our children? Or is it our job as parents to teach them how to be, do, and have everything on their own? Now, there's just a couple of you, so I'm putting pressure on. And I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you are going to watch this video over the next week or two, right? And so as you're watching the replay, I would love to see your answers in the comment box as well. All right? What is the answer to that question? I am making you think, right? Because the world needs more independent thinkers. We can't just believe messages coming from anybody else, even if they have white jackets and a doctor label, even if they have an office with a couch and they're a therapist, even if it's me talking, right? I don't want you to just accept all these ideas and go with it. I want you to think about it and do your due diligence, right? If we're always saying, sit down, come here, eat that, don't do that, we don't yell, we don't throw rocks. Oh, be careful on the stairs, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, don't climb on that. Put your jacket on, put your seatbelt on. It's time to go. I said it was time to go. Now, do you ever find yourself in a situation where you're communicating with your child, you're telling them what to do, they're not listening, and you keep telling them what to do, and you get even louder and maybe get frustrated and angry because we're continuing to take this square peg and shove it into a round hole, and it doesn't really quite fit there. And so we're taking this hammer and we're going whack, 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 and we're burning ourselves out in absolute frustration, and we end up in the bathroom crying because our kids still aren't listening. They're running around in circles, and we've yelled at them so much. All right, so maybe you relate to that, maybe you don't. I'm going to find out when you share your comments down below. You know, if you resonate with anything that I'm saying, I love the little like things, and so does Facebook, actually. Oh, hi, Tom. Thanks for joining. You know, I'm going to take 1 second, and I'm going to share this out on the Oppositional page. 1 second, so people can join. All right, got to invite more people. All right, so dictating. Always telling somebody what to do, when to get dressed, when to eat, what to eat, you know, everything in their life, then what we're doing is we're squashing that little spirit. And here's why. If we as human beings, if we don't have some sort of vision of what we're working towards, if we don't have a purpose in this world, then what's the point of living it? And if you're a little being and you're constantly told what to do and how to do it and when to do it or else, how is that little being supposed to feel like I have something in this world? I mean something to this world. There is a purpose for my life. I am somebody. You see, we've been taught that all children require is attention. Yeah, well, we all do love attention, right? But what kind of attention do we actually crave? Do we crave attention? Oh, little Timmy, oh, you don't have to do anything on your own your whole life. I'm going to protect you and buy you things and drive you, and I'm going to tell you what to do and what to wear and when to have a shower and how long to brush your teeth. And then if you don't listen, I'm going to punish you. How is he supposed to know what his purpose is in this world, what his purpose is? You see, this is the first time in the history of mankind where children at the ages of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 don't actually have a job. They just have everything kind of given to them because we've been taught somewhere along the way, in the 1950s, I guess we began competing with the Joneses. So somewhere along the way, we've been taught that to be a good parent means to spoil the kids. Whatever you want. I'm going to be your maid, your chauffeur, your cook. Oh, you don't like that? Let me get you something you do like. Oh, little Timmy, well, he's not eating. We got to get him some food that he likes. Right? Okay. Hey, Bonnie and Thomas, not sure why, but every time I try to connect to this page's live video, it doesn't stream. Black screen and no sound. Can you hear me, Tom? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later, Missy. I'm sorry about that. That sucks. Okay, so I'm hoping that I make a point here. When we as a human being feel not good about ourselves, when we lack desire, when we lack purpose, when we lack vision, something happens inside of us called depression, called anxiety. See, anxiety is caused by not knowing how to do something or not knowing what your future looks like. It's bleak, nothing to look forward to. You see what I'm saying? But if we can put ourselves in that shoes and we can actually see and ask ourselves these questions, and if you had a pen and a piece of paper, you might want to write it down. This is such huge aha moments. Like, life-changing aha moments, what we're talking about right here. We are following the definition of insanity by continuing to dictate to our children. They don't listen. We want them to listen, but they're not listening. And you can go through 5, 6, 7, 18 years that way with that same frustration, not knowing how to get them to listen to you. We're talking about how to go from disempowering to empowering our children in forms of communication. And so if we want our kids to eat their dinner, put on their shoes, hurry up to get out the door, put on their jacket, when we want them to do something, what is the best way to get them to do it then? If we're not just going to tell them what to do. Okay, guys, time to put your shoes on. We got to go. Mommy's going to be late for work. The child has no idea what being late for work means. All they hear is like, want, 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 want. All right? All you care about is what's important to you. All I care about is what's important to me and how to get it. All your children care about is what's important to me and how to get it. But if they could just wake up in the morning and go to the cupboard and get some food, and mommy's going to come and clean them up and tell them where to put everything, and they never have to think on their own, they're never going to become anything except for a pain in your butt. And if you wanted to talk to parents who are raising kids who are 21, 25, 30, 40 years old and still coming to them, asking them questions, asking them for money, asking them for help, asking them to move back into their house, I can set you up and you can see. Because somehow we as moms have in our minds, like, we want to get through today with some peace and some cooperation and some harmony. But we're not really thinking about what life's going to be like in 5 years from now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now. We're not really fixing things when we say, oh, my child doesn't know how to focus, I'm going to medicate him so he can sit still and get through class. We're not really thinking about what life's going to be like for that child when he becomes an adult, are we? Right? Because if we have to medicate a child to be able to focus in class, and then that child needs like extra care, like they need a one-on-one person to sit beside them in class to be able to focus and get their work done. Well, let's fast forward 15 years. Is that child going to have a boss that hires an extra person to come sit with him at his desk to make sure he can sit there and get his work done? Like, at what point do we wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm 16, now I know how to drive. Oh, I'm 12, now I know how to say please and thank you. Right? Or I'm 2, I know how to use the potty. Right? So if we can change the dictation to asking empowering questions to your child. If you have a 15-month-old or a 2-year-old, and every time you ask them to put their shoes on, they start screaming, there might be an underlying reason for that other than you're being naughty and defiant and not listening to me. Maybe the socks that were chosen for that child are too tight. And he's 2. And he doesn't understand my feet hurt when I wear those socks because they're too tight. Right? But if you were to take 3 pairs of socks and you were to go, would you like to wear these socks, or these socks to your toddler? They would come running up. They would grab their favorite pair. They'd put them on the feet. They'd put their shoes on and you'd be out the door. I promise you, with the most disruptive children, this works. Because they feel like they have some control over their life. They feel like they have some power or some say or some purpose. You see what I'm saying? I would love for you to have that cookie. As soon as all those toys go from the floor into that toy box, you may have them. Rather than pick up your toys, pick up your toys, pick up your toys, pick up your toys, and then frustration, you come in and you pick up all the toys. And then what is your child learning then in that moment? Well, all they have to do is ignore you when you talk and you'll just do it, right? Right? Okay, so hopefully this is getting you to think some yourself. What do I want for my child? What are some questions that I could ask that could get my child to give me the right answer so that they can feel good about themselves and their life and they will actually do what I want them to do? Hey, what do we put on in the car to be safe when we're driving down the road? What do we need to put on before mommy actually puts the car into reverse? What is it that everybody must put on? Kind of looks like the seatbelt. Oh my gosh, can you show me what that looks like? Okay, that works 150,000 times better with more happiness and more joy and more empowerment and more confidence than put your seatbelt on. No. Right? They're not being no to be defiant. They're not telling you no because they want to be defiant. They're telling you no because they wanted to think of it on their own. You see, when we would go camping and my son was like, I don't know, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And I would say, okay, we're going camping. We're going to need some of this, and this. My son would go pack his camping bag for the weekend. And then, hi, Carrie, awesome. So my son would go pack his camping bag for the weekend. And then what do you think I did? Can anybody guess what I did way back before I knew how to empower my kids, when I thought it was my job to be, do, and have everything for my kids? What do you think I did to my 12-year-old's backpack every single time we were going camping or going to do something? Can anyone guess? Anyone? I'm going to have a sip of my coffee now because I'm going to wait for an answer. This is interactive. She can see her. What's your name?
Cadence.
What?
Cadence.
Cadence. This is Cadence. Made sure it was fully packed for him. Well, isn't it funny how we all, you know the answer, don't you? It's like all of you watching the videos like, oh yeah, you double checked his bag and you added a couple pairs of socks and a sweater because you know how cold it was going to get out there. So, he was so hurt by that. Like, he would get so mad at me for that. He would call me on it. Who was in my bag? Who put this in there? Oh, you didn't trust me to do that on my own? And see, even though he had something in him that was telling me the truth, even though he was using his words to tell me the truth, you need to trust me, Mom. You need to give me more responsibility, Mom. Maybe if I'm cold, that's something that I'm going to have to deal with. Is it really any of your business, Mom? If I go cold, this is what I packed, this is what I chose, and you need to trust me. And this was the message he was giving me. Not in so many words, because of course he's 12 and not 44, so he can't think like an adult yet, right? All right, so just if you could focus on today. This is Tips Tuesday. Bonnie Leota, LearnToSpeakKid.com. If you could focus today, maybe carry around a notepad or a little cue card and take note of every single time you dictate or tell your kids to do something. Come here, sit down, put your seatbelt on, go get that. I said go get that right now. Do it because I said so. Anytime you find yourself in that kind of scenario, I want you to put like a little tick on a piece of paper. And then at the end of the day, you could be like, oh my gosh, I told my child what to do 75 times today. I told my child, no, we don't do that 10 times today. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, for those that weren't here, we're talking about the number one thing we do to disempower our kids that we've been taught to do, and we do it completely unknowingly. We're talking about dictation. Being all, doing all, having all, deciding all, telling our children what to do every minute of the day. And then we're thinking about how that helps our child develop neural pathways. If you have a child diagnosed with ADHD or oppositional defiant disorder, you've probably heard that word. Your child is missing neural pathways. All right, but if we go back to being a baby, that baby's born, we've been taught for thousands of years that they were born defiant, but they're actually born in absolute pure potential energy of love. That is the truth. So we can let go of, oh, my little 2-year-old's being a little shit today, just won't listen, getting into everything. All right? It's our job to teach them what to do. If a 2-year-old's banging on a glass with a glass table, obviously we don't want them doing that. But if we just say, no, we don't do that. We don't bang on the glass table. No, 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 that's bad. and we put them in a timeout if they do it again because they're not listening, how is the child ever going to fulfill his need to bang things? He's 2 or 1.5 or whatever, and he's exploring his world. And that's how they explore their world. That's how they learn things. We got to fail, try things, fail, learn, succeed. So let's think about this. Where could that toddler bang and get the same experience and hear a loud noise by banging something on something? Could we take him outside? And now this is where children require attention. No, we don't do that. We put them in a timeout. How do you feel? How does the toddler feel? Very bad about themselves, right? But we say, oh my gosh, you like to bang on things. And I understand you're learning your world. You're being curious, not defiant. You need to experience things. Let mommy show you what you can bang on so you can have fun banging all day long. Now, do you have a wooden spoon and some pots and pans in the kitchen? Bang, 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 bang. 5 minutes, they're done, you guys. Right? We guide them. We don't distract them with, no, I don't want you banging. Here's my cell phone. Because what is that child going to learn? If you can teach them where to bang and what to bang on, and they can get fulfilled and feel great about themselves, and you can do it in a happy, positive way, when that child needs to bang on something next time, they're going to go get the pots and pans and a wooden spoon. And you won't have to worry about them banging on the glass table with the glass because you're not punishing them and telling them they're bad, and you're telling them and showing them what they can do. That's an aha moment right there. You're showing them what they can do rather than telling them what not to do. You're going to begin to ask them empowering questions and put a kibosh on disempowering them with dictation. You need to listen to me because I said so. You need to listen to your teacher because they said so. They're an adult. Then the stranger comes along and says, come on, little Timmy, get in the car. I'm an adult. You should just listen to me. Okay, so I'm going to summarize. This is powerful. You might want to watch this from the beginning. I don't know. We're disempowering our kids by dictating. We are stopping them feeling important and purposeful by not giving them any responsibilities or tasks or trusts. By dictating and telling them what to do, you're going to have a 15-year-old that says, what time is it? Where is this? How do I do this? Can't you just tell me what to do? I'm bored. And that's true because they haven't built a neural pathway yet on how to think and be creative. Remember, we don't just know how to drive a car when we're 16 automatically. We got to be taught. We got to build those neural pathways. So if you've been told your child is missing neural pathways, it's because they're missing life skills and we haven't helped them create it yet, not that it just doesn't exist. Now, can they go into adulthood without it existing because they never practiced it? It's like they never worked their bicep, so now they don't have a muscle there very strong. But if they wanted to build their bicep, they'd just work out that with weights every single day and you would have a bicep. If we practice focus every single day, we're going to develop focus. We're going to develop that neural pathway. If we begin to ask our children questions and help them begin to become independent thinkers, where do you think the best place for that cup would be rather than go put the cup in the kitchen? See what I'm saying? All right. We're going to begin to ask them more questions and empower them and help them think and develop everything that they need to become an outstanding champion citizen. I would stake my life. Your kid has 100% pure potential to be, do, and have anything you see for them or anything they see for themselves. And when we can incorporate a new pattern in our minds, we can see that guiding behavior is better than distracting and punishing and putting them off in the corner or just leaving them at home when we go grocery shopping because they're too much of a pain in the ass. No, we've got to teach them, help them develop those neural pathways so you can have fun taking your kids grocery shopping, because how else are they going to learn what money is, how money works, how grocery shopping works, what to buy at the grocery store, what ingredients to look for, if we always just leave them home or distract them with a phone. You see, I saw a post the other day. It was like, I think schools should teach finance and how to make clothes and how to do all this stuff. And I'm like, well, what is our job? What do we do? Whose responsibility is it to make sure your child understands focus? Whose responsibility is it to teach them self-control so that they can go to high school and know how to keep their hands to themselves and not get into fights every day? Right? We have a massive responsibility to get this, to see the truth. We've been blinded. We have been duped, you guys. Authoritative parenting, permissive parenting, uninvolved parenting, authoritarian parenting are the 4 parenting styles that we've talked about for the last 85 years. Before that, it was just corporal punishment. And of course, the 2-year-olds, the minute that they could walk, they had chores to do. Trust me. You go back, ask great grandma, okay? She will tell you that they had chores to do. All right? And so it's a different world. And so we must begin to create these scenarios where our children can step up and be more and think more of themselves, right? It's our job to create that environment for them. It's not their job, a 2-year-old's, a 3-year-old's, 5-year-old's job to learn how to communicate with us. It's our job to learn how to communicate with them. It's not their job to create an environment that makes you happy. It's our job to create an environment for our children that allows them to grow in all sorts of ways. We're talking mentally, relationally, spiritually, financially. What am I missing? Mentally. Anyway, there's all of these characteristics inside of us that like want to come out. Our job is to feel joy, find joy. But if I were to come to your house and just tell you what to do all day long and when to do it and when you can go to the bathroom and how much to eat on your plate and blah, 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 you'd probably punch me in the face. Like you would tell me to get the hell out of your house right now, would you? You'd be like, go away. I want to go to the bathroom when I want to go to the bathroom and I want to wear pants today, not a dress, right? Okay, why have we gotten away from teaching our kids life skills? Oh, this is great. We got away from teaching our kids life skills when competing with the Joneses happened in 1955. So from the 1940s to the mid-1950s, we stopped working on the farms, we started working jobs, and we started competing with the Joneses. Oh, we've got to behave a certain way. We've got to dress a certain way. We've got to look a certain way. We've got to drive a certain car. And this kind of thing started to happen. And Dr. Spock wrote a book called Baby and Child Care. And he changed the whole thing when it come to parenting. We started catering to our children's every whim. We started lavishing them with attention. So all of these things combined has brought us to today, where, I don't know, every single parenting article I've read in the last 2 years has been wishy-washy parenting. Oh, my 17-year-old has autism, and when he didn't get a toy at Walmart yesterday, he fell on the floor and started crying. And you see, nobody can understand that he just can't maintain his emotions. He just can't. And so my job is to make him feel loved. So I just get on the ground with him, and I rub his back, and I just tell him how much I love him, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. Who's going to teach that 17-year-old child how to master his emotions, how to be grateful, how to get what he wants in the world without having to beg mom and dad for it? And then as soon as dad can't afford it or says no, the kid, 17-year-old kid, falls on the floor and cries and has an excuse. And I'm sorry, some of you with autistic children are going to hate me because I just said that. Well, I got to piss somebody off in this video. Like, somebody's got to not like me here. Somebody's got to say, I don't believe that. I'm leaving the group right now, and leave the group. And that's fine, because I'm here looking for the ones who know, who can feel in their heart that it's my job to empower my kids, to teach them about focus, about self-control, about self-discipline, responsibility, gratitude, manners, all sorts of characteristics. I can't even talk about them all right now, but it begins with us. It begins with us, mom, dad. It begins with us and how we speak to and look at and perceive our children. If we look at our 2-year-old and we go, oh, we got the terrible twos going on, we have an excuse for this disruptive behavior when they're 2. We don't even see that we didn't validate our 2-year-old's desire for a cookie because dinner's in 5 minutes. Now, I get that. Dinner's in 5 minutes. Your mom. Dinner's in 5 minutes. You don't really want to give them a cookie. I get that. But maybe this is a good time to tell them what they need to do in order to have a cookie rather than no because I said so. See what I'm saying? There's a difference. It's a subtle shift, a subtle difference, but there's a little bit of a difference, and I'm not sure who that little girl is. If you join me later, she's not mine. She's hanging out with me at the park. I think she likes seeing herself on the video. I think it's great. We're becoming friends. She'll visit me here every day and join me live. Where's Thomas these days? Ooh, would you like to see Thomas, Lori? He's sitting over there. He's doing a lot of coaching. We have a lot of coaching clients. We have high-end coaching clients and 1-year coaching clients, and he's doing a lot of phone calls and coaching them on that video. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. This is a lot to think about, a lot to ponder. But what I want to leave you with, where my intention is here, is to leave you with the feeling and the knowing that you have all the power to help your children thrive and not just survive with these diagnoses that we can help by building new neural pathways. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to try to fit some other videos in as well, but at least we've got this one committed to once a week. And I appreciate y'all being here, sharing your little hearts and your little likes and things. We do have an ebook that you can download for free, learntospeakkid.com. You can learn more about us, get the ebook, begin to engage in just this new perspective where we go from punishing to guiding. We go from chaos to peace, from disempowering to empowering, and from broken relationships to united families. That's our intention. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.